So what is theme in screenwriting? It's a great question. When I first started writing screenplays, I really didn't even give that question a thought. Theme was something I figured out as I wrote the story. It's something that really came together in edits. And that's really how the time I ever gave to theme. But then I got hired by DreamWorks Animation Studios, and that changed because they wanted the story and the theme. And I was pretty much a deer in headlights. If you don't know me, my name's Jamie Engel. I'm a novelist, screenwriter, and a ghostwriter with my company Chapter Drops. I love helping authors and writers, and here I am sharing my thoughts on theme today because one friend of mine, a screenwriter, reached out to me and asked, what do you think about this? She has a script. She shared it with a reader, and the reader came back and said, I'm kind of fuzzy on your theme. And my friend, like me, was like, well, what do you think it is? Because she was fuzzy about her theme too. So the purpose of a theme in a script, and the reason it's so important to figure out before you start writing, is that your theme determines the entire trajectory of your story. If you know your theme in the beginning, then you can create a story with specific problems that are going to either attack the theme or push the character toward ending the theme. And what I mean is, if your character has this idea in the beginning of the book, then by the end of the story, your hope is that they turn into this idea. If they're on a mission to become something, then by the end of the story, we expect them to become this thing, right? Well, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get to the end of the story and what they realize through all the story problems you presented them, that's not who they are. And they learn acceptance. And acceptance at the end of a story is just as important and powerful as change. Acceptance can mean the exact same impact on a character's life as change. So in the beginning, if you have a clue of what the theme is, then you know in the end the character is going to either accept this mission at the end, this change, or they're going to change and become somebody else. And that allows you the opportunity to create specific problems that are going to push your character into that change. It's really cool when you actually start doing it. Like if you have a character who's, wants to join the basketball team and this is their dream, and you know that in the beginning, then every decision that they make and every problem that comes against them should push them toward understanding what their theme is, which might be, their identity is under question. So if their identity is under question and they associate their identity with this idea of becoming a basketball star, well, then you have this beautiful story laid out where you can craft these problems that are going to separate the character's identity from basketball or present it in a different light, which is really cool. It's different in books. I mean, you definitely need theme in books. It's important, but in books you can almost have like several themes that are overlapping. And again, this is true in movies, but when you're writing a movie, you really need to focus on one true thing throughout the whole piece. And what it does is it allows the whole story to come out as very cohesive. You only have 120 pages to tell this story, and you have to use every page and every word as super important to have double impact. So if you're creating problems and they're just problems, it's not really going to be a great help to your storytelling. But if you're creating problems and fashioning them from the character's the theme of the story, then you're going to push your character into this beautiful ending, and from beginning to end the whole story is going to flow with a perfect arc, and the character is going to have an amazing character arc for the journey. Now, when I was talking to my friend about this, one of my thoughts was, if you think of theme like a fortune cookie, the paper inside, that's sort of like all you need, And so I literally ordered a box of fortune cookies to test out this theory. And I'm not going to lie, before I started filming, I wanted to do a practice to make sure it wasn't a bomb. And you're not going to believe what I got. So here's my cookie. I did open it. And my fortune literally says, don't judge a book by its cover. And I'm like, I couldn't have picked a better fortune cookie. So let's just say that's our theme. So we have a character, and the theme of the story is don't judge a book by its cover. So this character is super like all about how she looks, all about status, all about her appearance, all about those kinds of things. So if she's judging everybody by the cover, and then she's being judged that way, or she thinks she's being judged that way, then we can put her in all kinds of situations that are going to attack that core belief in her, that theme. Don't judge a book by its cover. So we can put her in positions where maybe her beauty is gone. Maybe she gets a scar. Maybe she discovers that she finds other people are moving up the social ladder because of kindness, and she's confused. Perfect example comes to mind in Clueless. And, you know, Cher was very, very superficial, but deep down she wasn't. And she found, by pretending to not, you know, to judge a book by its cover and change the Brittany Murphy character, rest in peace, whose name I forgot, by changing her look, it gave Cher this fake confidence. But what she actually learned is, by judging a book by its cover, she was missing out on a great guy that she really liked, but she couldn't allow herself to like because of how he looked. So knowing this theme in the beginning, don't judge a book by its cover, we were able to take Cher on this journey and present her with problems that in the end allowed her to fall in love with the right guy for her. Now, that's a really cool example. Let's see if this one works too. I am opening this fortune cookie and hoping that it's not a complete bomb again. We've got some great fortune or lottery ticket numbers on the back, but let's see what this says. Oh, and I don't have my glasses on. Here we go, guys. It says, your close friend will provide wisdom and guidance in a difficult decision. Holy smoke, what a fun theme that would be. So now we have this theme about leaning on friends for guidance when you face tough times. So if that's the theme of the story, then we're going to backtrack our character to why they're not that way already. So we have this character who's very distrusting. We have this character who thinks they have to figure everything out themselves. We have this character who is always the one to solve the problems. But now they're going to face something that's bigger than themselves. They're going to face a dilemma that they can't fix on their own. Maybe their husband or wife divorces them and they didn't see it coming. It was a complete shock. Maybe they lose their job and their identity is in their job. You know, maybe they have a miscarriage. Maybe, I don't know. This is where your storytelling comes in. But we know now, by knowing our theme, we're going to craft a story that takes this character from being uber independent, self-reliant, to a place where they have to come to other people. They have to join with their friends and trust other people in their circle for wisdom and guidance so that they can solve a big problem that's bigger than them, that they couldn't solve without their friends. Super cool, right? I'm so glad we came up with this theory. Now, I'm not saying go buy a box of fortune cookies and practice, but I'm not saying it because it's really cool. And I might actually do more videos of just let's take a fortune cookie and let's build out a theme and a story from it because it's super fun. But anyway, I'm so grateful that you hung out with me on this video. Theme is super important. I didn't realize that until working with DreamWorks. And if the big dogs are harping on theme, then us little pups should too, right? So if you have questions, hit me up, DM. You know what to do. Like the video, follow the channel, comment, and seriously comment. If you have other things you're curious about with screenwriting or writing a book, like my friend did, just ask and I'll turn it into a video and give you a great answer, I hope. Maybe with or without fortune cookies, we'll never know. But thanks for hanging with me, guys, and for being a part of my journey, and I will catch you in the Ingleverse.